Now in under 2 minutes, I'm going to try and explain the Muathe Virgin breakout in under 2 minutes, just so that we can make sure that it is simple enough to understand, and yet it has the punch that is needed for us to get great stocks as markets and stocks turn around over time. Now, this is actually based on the fact that stock has already made a low. The 200-day moving average, which was dropping over many months, suddenly comes to a stop. This is very important. You want the 200-day moving average to make this flat line here, and at the same time the observation should be that the 50-day moving average had been dropping, and at some point it made a flat line before trending higher. So now we come to a point where, let me draw this here. We have 200-day moving average that was dropping. It formed this flat line, and we have a 50-day moving average for a stock that has already formed a flat line, and has this 50-day moving average is now trending higher. Now, at some point we know that should this continue, if this continues going higher, now remember we are at this point right here. The only way this can, if this can continue going higher, this will eventually need to start creeping higher, and at some point we are going to have a crossover here, right? So mathematically, the only way this can move to here and this can stop dropping now after it has had this long drop and made a flat line here is that the price of the stock has to move higher. That is the only way mathematically. It is the only way that this formation from this point to this point can be possible, and the stock can only achieve this by moving. And this is what we want to take advantage of. Now, traditionally, you'll find that most people will use a crossover for an entry. I think that's a little late. The best time to enter the stock is when you notice flat 50-day moving average, flat 200-day moving average. Now, here's a trick on how you make the entry, and it's a biggie. You want to wait for the highest close. I'm going to repeat this. The highest close above the flat 200-day moving average, right there, the highest close is going to be your entry point. So the stock is going to come, move above this, and at some point it's going to settle down and form a close above a flat 200-day moving average, and it's going to drop down again and settle down for a while, maybe a couple of days at best, and then it's going to break out past that point. You want to buy the stock when it moves above this close above the flat 200-day moving average. So your entry point is going to be there. Now, that's it. Okay? That's the Muathe Virgin breakout. But I'm going to go back and explain something else. You'll also notice that while this 50-day moving average is flat, there's going to be a high daily close. By the way, this is based on a 1-year daily chart. I should have said that from the beginning. You'll notice that you can have the highest close when the 50-day moving average is flat can also be used for an entry point. When the stock forms that a high around the flat 50-day moving average, it's going to drop down, settle down for a little bit, and then it's going to take out this high. Now this can be an entry point for a gain, but remember, because at this point the 200-day moving average is dropping and has not shown us strength by going flat before it moves higher, you are going to play this move from here to here. So in other words, you know that this might be a risky play because you're going to enter here with the risk of the 200-day moving average. Sometimes what happens is that this is going to go flat, and then the 200-day moving average, instead of going flat, it does this and drops. And so this 50-day moving average has no choice but also to drop, and this can also lead to steep drops, so be careful. So that's why I say you know, you can play this early move with a flat 50-day moving average, but the best one is play that. And this is when this goes flat, 200-day moving average goes flat, and you enter your stock right there. Initially, you're going to notice that there's going to be some resistance. The breakout here is going to be shaky. They're usually shaky, and I'll tell you why. Because the stock has been dropping for many months. People don't trust the move. There are many people who bought at these prices. They want to sell, they want to sell, they want to sell. This is going to be some hesitation, but at some point, this is going to take off. All right. Now, let me get rid of that. Something else. While this is going on, the best one, and that's why the virgin for this indicator comes in play. Now, I do understand it's more than 2 minutes. Oh, well. So now the RSI, the reason why we get this virgin name on this is because the RSI is going to be making a new high past 68. I'm going to be making a new high in 1 year, and I'll explain that in my examples. All right, so now let's stop that. Let's look at the first example now. The stock that made me start looking at this was I don't know if it still trades, but it was SDRG, and I missed this move from around 18 cents all the way to $1.50. Actually, I think the stock went to around $2.50 or $3 in a very short time. But what you see here, even though this one was not dropping, is a flat 200-day moving average. You see this flat 50-day moving average. Here is the highest close while this was flat. And the next time it moves above that right there, bang, you make your move. Now notice while that stock was breaking out, our RSI was making a new high also. Right there, the RSI jumps to a new high. You can see it, but the RSI right there jumps to 68 and then little pause and moves to a new high ground right there. So this becomes your entry point, and you see what happened after that. Big move, and then we have all this RSI going back to overbought condition. So you want your entry point to be above the 200-day moving average, the highest close. Stock settles down for a couple of days and moves above that. You get the Muathe virgin breakout. I'm gonna come back. Let me find 4 more examples and see whether I can explain this further. This is Eric Muathe with Muathe.com as always. Peace and blessings to you.